Creatives are often asked the question, where do ideas come from?
How does it come?
It comes like on a TV in your mind.
The answer has almost always been the same. It's instinctual. Ideas just kind of come to you. No one can quite explain it.
But what you've fundamentally done is say, where do you get your ideas? And writers are awful to people who ask us where we get their ideas.
If we examine a few artists working in film and how their ideas are crafted, there is perhaps a simpler, technical answer that can help us demystify the mysterious answer of it's all instinctual.
Let's go inside.
An example of an artist's process can come from looking at filmmaker David Lynch. He began his 2006 film Inland Empire as a selection of unrelated digital short scenes, then over time realized that he was slowly weaving a loose narrative around those scenes. This then grew into a feature film project. Lynch states,
"A script is based on ideas if it's an original script. And so you try to catch ideas, and then you get another idea and you write it down, and hopefully one day you have a finished script."
What Lynch is explaining here is a classical example of how ideas are developed. You begin with one idea, and then you build upon it with a team or partner. Lynch shared the development process with Barry Gifford on Lost Highway in 1996, the film being influenced by Gifford's writings in Night People, the title coming from Gifford's line, "We're just a couple of Apaches riding wild on the Lost Highway." Gifford states that Lynch was inspired by the book and said, "Let's do something original." Lynch just happened to have an idea. What if a person woke up one day and was a totally different person? It's Kafka, the Metamorphosis. This shows the classical development of an idea between two creatives bouncing off one another, taking inspiration from a source idea or influence, and then creating something original. Lynch and Gifford are certainly not alone in this process. Famous director Alfred Hitchcock and screenwriter Evan Hunter used the same process on Hitchcock's The Birds in 1963. The idea for the work came from a novel, which was then cast aside, and only the base idea of the birds attacking humans and the title of the book remained. Hitchcock then directed Hunter to start developing ideas. An early script was based upon the idea of a school teacher who begins teaching in a small town, and when the birds start attacking the town, the residents blame the teacher for the horror. This storyline was scrapped, but some of it survived in the screenplay as a supporting character of the small-town school teacher Annie, played fantastically by actress Suzanne Plachette. There is also a scene in the final draft where the townspeople blame the new protagonist, now a socialite called Melanie, for the birds attacking.
One of the ideas I brought to Hitch was a school teacher coming to a town, and bird attacks start when she comes to the town to teach there. And the provincials think she must have something to do with it. There's an echo of that in the scene in the Tides restaurant for the mother. "You're responsible for this, you know."
I think you're the cause of all this. I think you're evil! Evil!
And the school teacher survived as Annie Hayworth.
The idea of the school teacher and the blame being cast on one particular character survived in the finished script, albeit in another form. Comparing Lynch and Gifford's words to the ideas development process used by Hitchcock and Hunter helps prove that there is a nuts and bolts way of developing ideas, and these filmmakers share the same development process. This gives us a solid structure and recordable process by which some ideas can be developed. David Lynch's process differed from this technique while he was developing Inland Empire. This had a lot to do with the technical availability of a digital workflow. Operating the camera himself offered complete creative control and the ability to shoot the ideas when they first presented themselves.
I fell in love with shooting with this small camera, seeing exactly what you get. It was so fantastic.
Technical development, and again having a creative partner to work with in developing scenes with actress Laura Dern, meant that the ideas process changed for the artist on this work. But still, the key creative partnership remained, this time of director Lynch and actress Dern, who made herself available to work when the ideas presented themselves.
You get 15 feet from that door.
Okay.
And turn around. And here comes Justin running toward you.
This shows a new process because of technology, but also shows creatives still need that key partnership to develop ideas. This process is interesting and shows that different processes can benefit different ideas. Although very different in style and technique, all of these creatives begin with the same thing: a single scene, image, or premise.
This picture has great significance because
We begin to see that ideas development is not a mystery. It is a workable tool and a part of filmmaking or creating that anyone can do if they persevere with an original idea. It's available to us all. Thanks for listening.